And horse owner.
Yeah.
You weren't in the box yesterday, were you?
No.
Oh,
no.
good thing, good thing.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Taiwan, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's been a year, it's been a year already. I mean,
Yeah.
September's been was the start of the season, and you have been flying around the track, or been pulled around the track several times. But set up, it's been mounting getting this track.
You know, it's been a long time coming. It's stood for long. A lot of ponies had a good shot at it. Right, and just got lucky with it. He ran well.
He's been running well for quite some time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Just missing out.
He's been running real well. You know, I'm real proud of him. We had a little bit of adversity with him for the first few years, but it's all paid off.
When do you notice that?
You know, due the whole week he trained real well. He drove real well. And on the day he felt real good. I didn't think the conditions were too right, but you know, he overcame it. He overcame it.
It's been, Daniel, you've seen the horse perform, and it's been on the brink for a little while.
Not so much him. I mean, there's some other ones that have come, that were looking more like they were going to do it. Kai with War Machine he's been getting faster and faster, sort of progressively. He hasn't had any sort of big explosive times.
Right.
But then he comes out and he starts passing some ponies that are, a lot faster, and then one thing leads to another.
Right.
And he drew a rail this week, and Kai said he was going to go for it, and he did it.
It's important that when you do draw that rail, you take full advantage of it, isn't it?
It may not come again for a long time. You just don't know.
Right. December 16th would be a memorable day for the rail.
Yeah.
I guess just like Big Red Machine some years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Big Red Machine had the record for I don't know if it was 6 or 8 years. It stood for a long, long time.
Right.
And some people have come close to it, but that 1/5 of a second, it doesn't seem like much, but to just get that extra 1/5 of a second, a lot of people try and come up short. Right. So, it was impressive to see him do what he did yesterday.
So many horses on the verge of knocking on that door this season, and towards the later part of last season as well. I know a lot of people who were chomping at the bit to get the season started because of what they saw ending the season last year, but has it been that explosive this year?
I mean, well, Kai knows better than me. I mean, he drives a lot of ponies down here, so
cheerleader on the sideline.
Yeah, I don't go down very often. I went down yesterday because he said he was going to do it, and he did it. Which a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm going to break the record," but they don't actually make it happen. But he did it.
Emotionally, you're standing on the sideline watching it. How do you manage that?
I see him. A lot of people, you see what you see at the track, but I see him. Day in, day out, he's up at the stable every night until late, poking with his pony, and I was pleased because all of the work he's put into it paid off. Yesterday,
right.
Which it was a great day.
Yeah. Now, so now what? Do you try to get him to go faster, make this record that much more tougher to beat?
I mean, that's always a goal. Like you said, this rail might not come again. You only got 2 more races now. I could be in the back on both race days. But if the conditions are right, he's feeling right, why not, right? Why not?
So he's going in the stakes race. So what happens? We're not exactly sure how many ponies are in there. It could be 6, could be 7 or 8, depends. So the way the stakes races work is, you've got 2 heats on Boxing Day and 2 heats on New Year's Day.
Yes.
So what you do is you take your average time of all 4 races that you've done, and then whoever has the combined fastest
yes.
time wins the stakes race. So
Right.
the nice thing about that is that you have to go. You know, if he's got a rail, he really has to try to go as fast as he can
Right.
to get his average, you know, down.
Right.
Him and everybody else. So
Right.
it makes for exciting races. Whereas if you're just out there for, you know, he could say today, I want to take it easy and just hang on to him. He's got the rail, so he's got a bit of advantage. But on stakes race days, you can't do that. You have to go.
Is everyone guaranteed a rail on stakes?
No, it's
So
a draw.
everything's drawn.
It's been drawn out. So if you have six, let's say you have 6 ponies in that particular stakes race, you have 2 races of 3,
Right.
and then you'll pull a number, you know, 1 through 6. So let's say if you pulled number 6, you're on the 3rd position in the 2nd race.
Right. Okay.
Then, which is essentially a rail, because then you have to swap them back over.
Just don't get 2 or 5.
Well, the thing again with that is that if you get 2 or 5, it's easier to get your average better if you're in the middle.
Right.
Right. So
You either get pulled or you can overtake
correct.
it.
It's a catch-22.
Right.
So if you're going to win the stakes, I think that my personal opinion would be a 2 or a 5 is really where you want to be.
Right.
But obviously, if he wants to have another go at the record, then that doesn't work. So
Right.
it's a catch-22.
You need that rail. You
Yeah.
need that rail. Now, what are we, a week away from the first lot of stakes race?
Just over a week.
Yeah, because it's Boxing Day.
Boxing
And
Day.
okay.
Yeah.
So how do you, what's in store for the pony leading up to that time? Because there's no racing over the weekend, so you got a chance to give him a rest, but you want to keep him fine-tuned. It's almost like a athlete that you want to make sure is hitting that peak at the right time.
Well, you really just want to keep him happy, to be honest. Just whatever he wants to do, you keep him happy. So,
Right.
You know, look good, feel good, run good, right?
Okay.
You know, so that's just keep the same program. You know, it makes sense changing something if
Right.
it's working out.
Right.
Just hopefully you get a good draw and see what happens, right?
Now, you done this in the first race of the day yesterday. So for the rest of the day, you're walking around or driving around with the biggest grin on your face. When did you find out that you had broken?
Oh no, I couldn't get too excited, right? Because I still got more ponies to drive, and
Right.
that would just lose focus. So
Right.
after then, you got to take it as is. Okay, you did it, but you got to focus on the next job.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when I heard that song, I was definitely excited. I'm not gonna lie.
Getting from one pony to another must have been an exciting cloud nine.
I mean, yeah, it is. I love that. You know, it's a passion of mine.
Mhm.
That's what I want to do. And like all of them that I drive are running real well this year. Not just mine. Everybody is.
Mhm.
You know, everybody's showing up right now.
Right. Daniel, there are an abundance of youngsters taking over down at Vesey Street. Must feel good
I'd like to
know
see
that.
more. To be honest with you, like we have a select group, but
Right.
you know now, like Kaiwan goes away to school in January. We lose some other ones, so
Right.
we need some more to come through. You know, my generation of guys that race, we're all on the sidelines.
Right,
You-
right.
I'm way too big to be jumping in the soccer. And be successful is just not going to happen.
Right.
So there's a lot of us big boys on the side that we've talked about doing like a fat boys race, but it hasn't come to fruition yet, which I think would be fun. But
For who, you or the pony?
well, I think it would be fun for us. Yeah, the ponies. I don't know how well they'll take it.
One lap?
Yeah, we might have to. But yeah, you know, it's great to see the kids come along. You know, and really now they're the ones that are the top drivers really.
Right. And obviously it's the ponies are marrying what the youngsters are doing as well, because
You get out what you put in.
Yeah.
You know, you get out what you put in. That's really these ponies we have in Bermuda are well bred. You know that the mother and father to War Machine were both world record holders. That doesn't necessarily mean that when you breed them you're going to get another one.
Right.
This worked out for us, but the caliber of ponies is second to none here really. And you know the competition is great. So, but again, it's the record stood for all these years with a lot of good ponies.
Yeah.
You know, well it's and the way it is now, it could be broken next week by somebody else.
Right.
You know, Charles White's pony is running. Iron Man has touched on it before.
Right.
But you know, you just don't know. I've seen the record many years ago. I saw the record broken once,
Right.
and everybody was hooting and hollering. It was fantastic. And then the second race, another person came out and broke the record again. So,
Right.
I think it was Eddie. Eddie had it for about 5 minutes. So that's why you don't want to get too excited because like, you know.
Well, yours lasted for the day.
Yeah, but that's exactly right. So you know,
Right. You got a little longer than a day too.
Yeah.
but
What's the success behind it, Kyle? I know it's a lot of hard work that you put into this event, but what's the success that drives you to get you prepared each weekend?
Honestly, it's just that like I love racing. Like, you know, I have to love the animal too. Like, I like every time you sit down, there's a feeling that no one could ever get, or I could explain to anybody. You know, like nothing matters when I hit that track.
So you're basically focused from the time you arrive to the time you finish.
I don't hear anything around me. I just see me and him. That's
Wow.
it. That's
Wow.
it.
That's hard, you know, that at a young age to be focused on what you're supposed to do in
If you
sports.
love it enough, right? You
Right.
can do it. You know?
So you think this racket could be broken again anytime soon? Rackets are meant to be broken.
Records are definitely meant to be broken. Can it happen? Absolutely. Will it
Right.
happen? I don't know.
Mm.
You know? It could stand for 20 years. It could stand for a week.
Right.
You know? It's no telling really because the caliber of them is just it's so high right now. It tracks so fast.
Mm.
You know?
If you get a reel, is it up to you on the day to see what the horse is feeling like, or you just say, "Look, we're gonna"?
It's really up to the horse, to be honest. And
Right.
all the conditions have to be right.
Right.
Like the conditions have to be right.
Yesterday was a little overcast, a little cool.
it was humid too. It was
Right.
hot
Right.
down there, so.
That was my main little.
So didn't need to warm him up too much, especially with the first heat.
I mean, no, right? 'Cause if you got a game plan, right, going like that, you gotta get the pony hot.
Right.
You know, because normally ponies like running their second heat. They
Uh-huh.
always run by their second heat.
Right. Right.
So if you get them warm, take care of them. You know, warm, cool them down and all that. Give them a shot. And he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must have been scared. If he runs fast in the second heat, he'd have to be in the first
But
one
see,
with the
well, it's kind of interesting how he says that. I'm listening to because I don't know much about ponies like you guys do, and it's
Right.
good. But what I've learned is that he's saying that the ponies run better in the second heat.
Right.
It's like humans when we do track.
Right.
Our first heat is not the best. It's usually the second or
It's
the
to
third.
get you to the
It gets you to
the
warm up.
semifinal.
Exactly, the
So,
semifinal.
yeah.
And that's what I'm gathering from here. So you kind of know this animal pretty good. This pony, I'm sorry, pretty good.
Yeah.
How much time do you spend daily?
Yeah, I probably couldn't calculate the hours to be honest.
Average.
Daily, probably 4 hours.
Dang.
He's up there all night.
Wow.
One I'm looking at, like, look, even when I was younger, I did not have that level of commitment. There was, you know,
But it's paying off, right?
yeah.
Definitely.
Wow.
Not when I was married.
4 hours?
4 hours.
So you're getting there like 6 in the evening.
So I'm getting there about 5:30.
5:36. 5:30.
Yeah.
And you're leaving 10:30 at night.
Sometimes later.
But on average, 10:30, 11 o'clock there.
Yeah. 10:30.
Yeah.
3.5, 4 hours.
That's why you have the success. You're putting in the hard work.
Yeah, and that's with everybody. Like, everybody has success if they put in a lot of time. But it's just how much time. You just gotta really gel with the pony. The pony's gotta love to do what he does.
And this is every day.
Every
Hold
single
on.
day. I don't miss a day.
So again, in track, you know, we trained hard. So
Yeah,
Monday and
track,
Tuesday,
yeah.
you had a rest day Wednesday. But this mailman's saying every day.
If the rain is going sideways, because, you know, our stable's up on top of a hill in
Right,
Southampton,
yeah.
the rain's going sideways, he's out there with the rain suit on jogging. Every day.
Dang.
You got to be ready for all types of conditions, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
Let me ask you this question, because and this is going to bring a smile to your face. Why don't you jump?
That's not my calling. Yeah. Being behind him is my thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just.
It's a
I've
lot.
tried that. It's not for me.
There's a lot farther to fall to.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
Because if you're jumping 3 feet already, and you're already on top of something that is 6 feet, that's pretty big. Yeah. And that sand is not soft, is it?
no. You know, the ground's hard.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
ground is
Yeah.
hard.
I just thought I'll make you smile on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, some people have it.
Right.
I don't.
You spent some time in the U.S. doing driving,
Yeah.
and it's an art form to that. How much? What's the level of concentration needed for that? Because there is a higher level of competition in just that. When I say driving, I'm not talking about harness. I'm talking about carriage driving.
Yeah. So like carriage driving is all on your picture, your uniform, how you look. You know, how the horse is set, how you look. You have to match everything, your whole turnout.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's honestly, I think carriage driving has made me a better driver, better racer. You know, driving different ones, you gotta feel them, bend them. You know, everything's different. So jumping from different horse to different horse teaches you. You know what I mean? You can't. If somebody stay with one horse, you're gonna learn how to drive a difficult one.
Right.
But yeah, I would say it's a lot of work into carriage driving too. You know, you gotta perform.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people like in racing, you can say, oh, like he's fast, he could win. In the carriage, you have a lot of them like that.
Right.
You look the exact same. You also can make one bad start, and it's also a judge's opinion too.
Right.
You know, so you can.
Well, the posture is one of the big things because you always look at that. One thing you notice during the exhibition when you have the carriage rides, it's how the driver sits, how they get the horses to make sure heads stay up, and it's difficult because most of the time some horses just don't feel like it on the day.
But again, you know, you do your homework at home, and you know if you prepare properly, you should be okay. You know, but that doesn't always work out. But.
But Daniel, you've been around this game for quite some time, and as you said, there's a lot of older guys. But the fact that you guys still get together, it's still racing going on, it's still entertainment going on there. Amongst the older guys, how does that keep you guys together?
Well, you know, there's still a lot of banter, and there's you know, there's a lot of phone calls we made last night, and you know, this is for bragging rights.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So I wasn't sitting in the sulky, but I was just as pleased, you know. But yeah, there's still a lot of poking, and it hasn't really changed since a lot of us were children either.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But yeah, and it's great. You know, a lot of us have all been friends for a long time. I started when I was 12. 41 now, you know, so on the racing side,
right,
and a lot of the guys that were racing with me then are still around,
right.
So,
right.
But yeah, this is all about bragging rights. That's you know, to put it into perspective.
Will there be a flag flying come Boxing Day?
There might be.
Yeah, you have to take it one race at a time.
Yeah,
You can't get too excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's all in your regard. It's all about the banter and the making sure that everybody knows which stable has the.
Yeah. So we've had a good year this year.
Yeah.
But, you know, that.
Last question for you, Kaiwan. Running from horse to horse. Obviously, you get an opportunity to warm up with the horses and you know, go through the motions and all that. But from time to time, don't you get a different feel when you get back into a different horse of how he or she warmed up for a race?
100%. Everyone's different. You can never drive one horse. You can't drive them all the same. You know, some of them are fast out of the gate, some of them are slow out of the gate, some of them need a whip, some of them don't need a whip.
Right.
So you just have to go how the pony is. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's.
So are you analyzing things from the turn to the start gate to the start, or
as soon as I sit behind analyzing things.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you start, even when I'm warming up, you're sitting there, you're feeling what's this, what's that. You know, how they look, how's their head. You know, it all depends on that day because they could be different every single race day.
Right.
You know, you just have to go with what you dealt with.
Yeah. What would you say has been your? Well, we know what your biggest moment has been, but what would you say would be something that you had to step back and say, am I in this for the right, is this what I want to do? Something that happened at the track that would make you doubt racing?
That would make me doubt racing?
Yeah.
I mean, it have to be something pretty drastic for me to doubt racing.
Right.
You know, these last 2 years have been pretty good. My years before then, they weren't as good.
Right.
And I could have worse years coming.
Right.
You know, like next year, the year after that, it could be horrible for me.
Right.
But,
just enjoying these 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't blame you.
You know, you gotta take it as it comes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got a good war horse.
That is correct.
Set the track alight yesterday. Today 101 and 2. How's that?
101 and 2.
Yeah, you can walk around.
Yeah.
101 and 2. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations again, both of you, and we look forward to some more, hopefully, fast times at the track come Boxing Day and New Year's Day. Excitement. Both race days start at 1 o'clock.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's those are the days to watch. I mean, without a doubt, Boxing Day and New Year's Day will be some fantastic racing.
Yeah,
So
those are the show days.
that's the one.
The stage has been set. How's that? All right.
All right, thank you, John.
Best of luck,
All
John.
right. Thank
All
you.
right.
We'll be back with more Inside Sports Talk after this message from our sponsors.
Inside Sports Talk Radio.
I've been doing yes.
Just back here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
You
Jen.
guys did all right.
Appreciate it.
You been on a Boxing Day?
Cool, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. All right. Thanks, man. Okay, guys.
Thank you. Cool. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you.
Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Just want to thank Earl Baston with his special guest on pony racing. It was young Kaiwan. His last name is Waldron, breaking a record that stood, I think, between 6 to 8 years in pony racing. And he's only 18.
Yeah, young fella.
Yeah, so the future looks very promising for him.
Yeah, I mean, all season.